All right. Good morning, everybody. So we'll give people just a moment to connect in electronically. And for today's practice, you don't need anything. You don't need mala beads. You don't need a candle. All you need is somewhere comfortable to sit, upright and supported. Make sure that your bladder is empty. And we'll begin in just a minute. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit more reading than normal. But it's really a subject that I think is important for us to deeply explore. Since we're working on meditation techniques, it's important to clarify some concepts around meditation. So a couple other things. So while we're waiting for everybody to connect, make sure that you're just comfortable, upright, empty bladder. And the other thing that I'm going to throw out there is if any of you are interested in a very specific subject or topic, you can contact me individually and let me know what that is. You can either put in the comments, or you can email me, or you can go to the website Healthier Vibrations and put in there what you would like possibly covered during these sessions. Okay? All right, so for today, I'm going to be doing a little bit of an extended reading. This is from Sri Aurobindo, Integral Yoga. So this is on specifically the subject of sadhana through meditation. And I'll do a tiny bit of paraphrasing, but I will try to stick with as close to as how the book has written it. What is meditation? What does meditation exactly mean? There are two words used in English to express the idea of meditation: dhyāna. Meditation and contemplation. Meditation means properly the concentration of the mind on a single train of ideas which work out a single subject. Contemplation means regarding mentally a single object, image, or idea so that the knowledge about the object, image, or idea may arise naturally in the mind by force of the concentration. Both these things are forms of dhyāna. For the principle of dhyāna is mental concentration, whether in thought, vision, or knowledge. So I want to stop there for just a second. Those of you who have been studying yoga with me or through other teacher training programs or self-motivated programs, we understand there's many different types of yoga. And if you're looking at the basic form of Ashtanga yoga, or the 8 limbs of yoga, let's say if we go back to Patanjali, we have 8 different stages. One of those stages is the yamas. The second is the niyamas, observances and things to try to avoid that may hinder your practice. And the third is asana. The fourth is pranayama. And then when we start looking at things like pratyahara, withdrawing our senses or controlling our senses, then we start moving into the stages of meditation like dhyāna and deeper levels of concentration which are required for meditation. So there are other forms of dhyāna. There's a passage in which Vivekananda advises you to stand back from your thoughts. Let them occur in your mind's eye. As they will, you can simply observe them and see what they are. This may be called concentration and self-observation. So typically when people say, oh, I have a really hard time meditating, this is one of the primary reasons why, because the mind is doing this and that and this and that. So one way of developing that concentration on that single-pointed vision in your mind is to just sit back and look at, what is the mind doing? Just observe it. This form leads to another, the emptying of all thought out of the mind, so as to leave it a sort of pure vigilant blank on which the divine knowledge may come and imprint itself, undisturbed by the inferior thoughts of the ordinary mind, and with the clearness of a writing in white chalk on a blackboard. You will find that the Gita, the Bhagavad Gita, speaks of this rejection of all mental thought as one of the methods of yoga, and even the method it seems to prefer. This may be called dhyāna of liberation, as it frees the mind from slavery to the mechanical process of thinking and allows it to think or not to think, as it pleases, when it pleases, or to choose its own thoughts, or else to go beyond thought to pure perception of truth. Meditation is the easiest process for the human mind, but the narrowest in its results. You know, and when I read that last night, meditation is the easiest process. To many of our minds, deeply involved in the modern processes, meditation from my students is often the hardest. But when we think of meditation as the easiest process of the human mind, but the narrowest in its results, contemplation is more difficult but greater. Self-observation and liberation from the chains of thought is the most difficult of all, but the widest and greatest in its fruits. I love how Sri Aurobindo writes. It's a little bit of a riddle. One can choose any of them according to one's mind and capacity. The perfect method is to use them all, each in their own place and for its own object. But this would need a fixed faith and firm practice and a great energy of will in the application of the yoga. So nobody said it was effortless. Number 2, like I said today, I'm going to do a little bit of an extended reading, then we'll do a practice. Number 2, what should be the object or ideas for meditation? And of course, this depends on your lineage. Let's say you're in the Satmat lineage, you have very specific light sound meditation practice, and some people, they do, mantra as their object, etc. But let's see what he says. Whatever is most constant with your nature and highest aspirations. But if you ask me for an absolute answer, then I must say, keep your mind on God. The idea on which the mind should fix itself, of God and all in God, and all as God. It does not matter, essentially, whether it is an impersonal God, a personal God, or subjectively the one self. But this is the idea I have found the best, because it is the highest and embraces all other truths, whether truths of this world or of other worlds or beyond all phenomenon in existence. So let's take a look here for a moment. Conditions internal and external that are most essential for meditation. There are no essential external conditions, but solitude and seclusion at the time of meditation, as well as stillness of the body, are helpful, sometimes almost necessary to the beginner. But one should not be bound by external conditions. Once the habit of meditation is formed, it should be made possible to do it in all circumstances: lying, sitting, walking, alone, in company, in silence, or in the midst of noise. The first internal condition necessary is concentration of the will against the obstacles to meditation. Things like wandering of the mind, forgetfulness, sleep, physical, nervous, impatience, restlessness, etc. The second internal condition is an increasing purity and calm of the inner consciousness, out of which thought and emotion arise, i.e., a freedom from all disturbing reactions, such as anger, grief, depression, anxiety about worldly happenings. Mental perfection is closely allied, mental perfection and morale are closely aligned to each other. How do you feel? How are you feeling? Are you disturbed by all of the world's things that are happening? This can make meditation much more difficult. If the difficulty in meditation is that thoughts of all kinds come in, that is not due to hostile forces, but to the ordinary nature of the human mind. All sadhakas have this difficulty, and with many it lasts for a very long time. There are several ways of getting rid of it. One of them is to look at the thoughts and observe what is the nature of the human mind as they show it, but not to give any sanction or let them run down until they come into a standstill. This is a way recommended by Vivekananda in his Raja Yoga. Another is to look at the thoughts not as one's own. To stand back as the witness, Purusha, and refuse to sanction. The thoughts are regarding things coming from outside, from Prakriti, and they must be felt as if they were passerby crossing the mind space with whom one has no connection and in whom one takes no interest. In this way, it usually happens that after a time the mind divides into two, a part which is mentally witness, watching and perfecting undisturbed and quiet, and a part which is the object of observation. To silence the mind, it is not enough to throw back each thought as it comes. That can only be a subordinate movement. One must get back from all thought and be separate from it, a silent, conscious observing. Observe the thoughts if they come, but not oneself thinking or identifying with the thoughts. Thoughts must be felt as outside things altogether. It is then easier to reject the thoughts or let them pass by without letting them disturb the quietude of the mind. So I know Sri Aurobindo is a little bit difficult grammatically, but when we take a look at this concept, we can think about our meditation a little bit differently. Because usually the biggest obstacle people face in meditation is, well, I can't control my mind. My mind is going here, there, everywhere, here, there, everywhere. And a lot of times we refer to the monkey mind, right? The monkey mind. Monkey mind is hard to control. What if you didn't even have to control it, per se? What if you visualize your mind like a tree full of monkeys? And all you have to do is sit back and observe it. If you've ever had small children around you or small animals around you, you sit back and you look at them and you're like, wow, you can really go. What are you doing? What if you were able to do that with your own mind during meditation? Instead of saying like, oh, what does this thought mean? Oh my gosh, I have this thought, I have this thought, I have that thought, I have this thought, I have this. What if you were able to separate from that and say, I'm not that? And just observe it like a silly little dog rolling around on the carpet. So I invite you to experiment with some of these thoughts today. And for today's meditation technique, we're just going to come into some gentle breath work. We follow the limbs of yoga. We do some pranayama first, integrate in with our body. We'll do a little bit of tension release. Then we'll go into a breath technique of alternate nostril breathing. So first, just check if both of your nostrils are open. Inhale through one side. Exhale out the other side. Inhale in one side. Exhale out the other. And if you're not clear, you might need a tissue. And if that's just not going to work for you for some anatomical or physiological reason, you could just do basic abdominal breathing during our breathing part. Okay. So we want to go into breathing part to integrate in that full neurological relaxation, drop us more into the parasympathetic nervous system, change our brain waves, integrate the body and the mind better. And then we're going to move into a practice that's called Samavriti. And those of you who've taken yoga teacher training with me, you're familiar with Samavriti. And this is just a mental concentration technique where we visualize a golden square at the third eye. And it's integrated with breath technique also. So we inhale, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, hold, exhale, hold. So you're inhaling as you visually, hone in your vision. Keep your vision tight. This is part of a concentration technique. And as you inhale, you trace up the side of the square, the golden square in your mind's eye. And as you go across the top, you hold. As you go down, you exhale. As you go across, you hold. Now, they say it's for a count of 4, 4, and 4. But you shouldn't have any breath straining, okay? So don't hold your breath to the point where you're like having a difficult time, because then that defeats everything. You go into the sympathetic nervous system, and then you're not going to be able to meditate very well, at least not at this stage. So we're going to do Samavriti. Then what we're going to do is some Om chanting. And remember, if you were with me last time, we did Om. Om is 3 letters, A, U, and M. And the A starts at the belly. We inhale, we soften the belly. The U comes up towards the chest. And then the M is at the third eye. So we'll start clarifying that central channel and grounding and connecting and bringing our thoughts away from that external world. Then what we'll do is we'll drop into silent meditation. During that silent meditation, if your mind starts wandering, which it usually always will, especially if you're newer at meditation, if the mind begins to wander, I want you to try a couple different techniques. First, just observe it, like that naughty puppy rolling around on the carpet. Don't interact with the dog. Don't interact with the monkeys on the tree. Just look at it as if it's not even belonging to you. Try to be the witness and observer of your mind. Don't interact with it at all. Well, if that doesn't work, then go back to your Samavriti back to concentration. Or you can go to silently doing Om at the third eye. But no matter where you are, I want you to try to keep your concentration at the third eye center, instead of letting the mind wander in all different directions, even if you're observing the monkeys or the puppy. Okay? All right. Remember, it takes a lot of practice to eventually reach that blank, pure blackboard that can be written on with chalk, with divine impressions. So let's go ahead and start by just relaxing our physical body. If you need to, maybe stretch out your neck a little bit, relax your shoulders a little bit, check in with your spine for a second, check in with your legs for a second. You want to really find a position that you can hold as still as possible. We don't want to be wiggling and fidgeting all around. So really check your physical positioning. And then just check if you're holding tension anywhere. This is why a lot of times we do yogasana or movement of some sort before meditation. A little bit of just relaxing the body. So begin visualizing a light high above you, way up at the sun, shining its light rays down on top of your head, gently bringing a soft relaxation, letting that light come down over your face, cleansing all your sense organs, your vision, your smell, your hearing, your taste, your touch. Letting that light and relaxation start coming through the neck, the shoulders, the arms, out your hands, all the way down your torso, legs and feet. And I'm going to open up this session with just a mantra that helps us connect in with that light. And while I'm doing it, just visualize that light shining down and radiating ever so brilliantly at your heart center. Om Bhurbhuvasuvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Now let all of your attention come into your breath. We'll do our Ohms next. So with your attention on your breath, first check how you're breathing. On your inhale, soften your tummy. Let there be room for your lungs to fill up. And on your exhale, let your tummy move inward a little bit to press the air the rest of the way out. Try that a few times and just check your coordination of breath. Inhale, soften your belly, fill your lungs all the way up to the very, very tip top. Exhale. Let the belly press inward and up, pressing the rest of the air out. Exhale all the way. See how big you can inhale in. Inhale in as much as you can. A little bit more. And out. See if you can exhale out a little bit more. Let's begin with 27 ohms, and each of these ohms, I want you to visualize a vibrational cleansing of all the energy around you, inside you, and in particular the A, the U, the M vibration, cleansing that central channel. When you say ah, bring your attention to the bottom of your navel, the ooh in your chest, and the up the third eye center. And let them be soft and sweet. Let's go ahead and begin. If you'd like, you can just place your fingers in chin mudra. I'll be counting with mine. Inhale. Last one. Big deep breath. Now bring your right hand up and tuck your first and middle finger down and place your right thumb on your right nostril. If this breath technique becomes complicated or hard, just do regular, slow, deep breathing. Remember, for this breath technique, we inhale in through one nostril. We switch, exhale out the other. Inhale, same side. Switch, exhale out the other. You'll go at your own pace, and during this process, try to keep all your attention at your third eye. Don't let the mind wander around. And if there's a lot of puppies or monkeys goofing off, just witness them. Don't even claim them as I or me. Just witness them. We're going to do this for 5 solid minutes. So if it becomes difficult, just take a break and try to be still. Try to let each breath be slow and gentle but delicious without any breath hunger. Mind's eye at your third eye. Bring both hands down to your thighs. And place your first finger and thumb together. Chin mudra. And just observe changes that have happened already. For just a few minutes of breathing and concentration. Let your breathing take a natural, gentle state. And now bring all your attention again to the third eye region. And we'll do Samavriti. Sama means same. Vritti is side or length. So at the mind's eye, visualize a golden box and trace in your mind's eye with great concentration but not strain. Inhaling up the side of the box to the count of 4. Holding, going across. Not holding to the point of breath hunger. Exhale as you trace in your mind's eye down the side of the box. And hold as you trace across the bottom of the box. You can use your fingers up in the air in front of you at first if you need to. I'm doing it just for your visual needs. Inhale up the side of the box. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Down. 2, 3, 4. Across the bottom. 2, 3, 4. Inhale up. 2, 3, 4. Across. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale down. 2, 3, 4. And now assume your own pattern that is comfortable, with ease, but hold that concentration. And if the monkey mind comes in, just let them go play on the tree as if you're not even associated with it. Just witness them. And then come back to your square. And I'll time us for another 5 minutes. Let's begin. If you get lightheaded, just go to regular breathing and bring all your attention to the third eye for the inhale and the exhale. Don't cause respiratory strain. I'll bring your mind's attention. Bring all your concentration just to your third eye. Breathe naturally and normally. With each inhale, visualize your attention at the third eye, brilliant, golden. And with each exhale, visualize your attention still there. And perhaps place a sweet remembrance, if you have one, of your God, whatever it is that you call it, whatever it is that you understand you are a tiny fraction of, no matter what your faith is. Whether you use the title as Ma, or the Lord, or God, or something else, come into a sweet remembrance of that. Placing it at your third eye, and with each inhale and each exhale, draw all your attention to there and there only if you can. Drawing that inward with your inhale, reaching out with your exhale. At the point of your third eye, hands and body still. If you have a guru mantra or simran, japa, you can do that as well. All at the third eye. Try to just let your mind be a blank slate now. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Take in a couple big inhales and exhale out through your mouth. Inhale in through your nose. Out through your mouth. Once more. Bring your hands up and rub your palms together. Put your hands over your eyes. And open your eyes, looking at your palms. So yeah, there's so many different ways you can meditate. But we have to get the concentration down pat first. If we can't concentrate the mind, it is very, very difficult to master the mind. It'd be like if you first started driving, and you just started thinking about, what am I going to play on the radio? When you first start driving, you got to pay attention. You don't want to be weaving in and out of traffic, and you missed the stoplight, you missed the yellow light, and whoops, you wobbled all around. If you remember when you first started driving, if you drive, you really had to concentrate on it. You're like, oh my gosh, what am I doing, right? And then eventually it just becomes second nature. Or when you first start learning how to ride a bike, you really have to concentrate on it. Every little movement of your body, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to crash. Meditation's very similar. You really have to concentrate. The mind, I like what Sri Aurobindo said. To free your mind, to emancipate your mind. In the wonderful sensation that has. When you go deep into meditation, and we just kind of dabble in meditation with these sessions. It's so yummy when you come out of a deep meditation and your mind has been fully liberated from all the chackity, yak, all of the vitiations, the disturbances, the pain. And you come out of meditation and you're like, yes! But even better if you can stay there longer. A blank canvas and receive messages from divinity. So I encourage you all to practice. And for next week, I'm going to open up the subject. If you have any subjects you would like covered, you know, if there's specific challenges that you're having in meditation. I'm working myself up to meditating 3 hours a day now. Yesterday I sunk into meditation and I exceeded my goal. I was like, oh, wow, I better start setting an alarm. And it's euphoric. It really is euphoric. So try it. The hardest part is getting past those puppies on the rug, those monkeys in the tree, the barking, making a bunch of noise in your mind. Hey, 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 hey. Just be like this. Don't try, you know, there's all sorts of different ways. For me, what's working best, I don't even identify them. I don't even identify the I associated with it. You know, and if you've had little children or cousins and nephews or little animals, you know, when you're trying to do something and they're just like, in the background, you're like zoned out, not paying attention to you. With practice, you can do that with the mind disturbances. And boy, once you sink in, you come out of it and you're like, that felt good. That felt good. It's the fighting. Stop making noise over there. Stop talking over there. Stop doing that. When we do that with our thoughts and our mind, it's hard. It's like a constant battle. So I wish you luck this week. Maybe spend, you know, a little bit of time in between now and then. I'd like to close with just a couple mantras for peace. A couple mantras that connect us in with that light and guide us on our way. Bhurvuvah suvah tatsaviturvaranyam bhargo devasya dhimahi dhiyo yona prachodayat Triyambakam yajamahe sugandhim Pushtivadanam urvarukamiva bandhanat Mrityormukshiyamamritat Aum Sarve Jana Sukhino Santu Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pishantku Makashe Dukha Bhavet Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. And if you'd like, you can repeat after me. Peace in my body. peace in my breath, peace in my mind, and peace radiating to me and through me everywhere I go. Namaste, everybody. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will see you back next week